Hey everybody, my name is Cory Jones. I'm with Compassion Works for All. Politics is a really tricky thing to discuss in mixed company, but it's important that we learn to do so because avoiding the issue won't make it better. So at some point we're going to have to put on our big kid pants and learn how to have productive conversations about difficult topics, or else things will only continue to get worse. And we believe that mindfulness offers the tools to do just that. So that's why for the month of October we're talking about mindfulness and politics. Now, a few days ago I was driving down the freeway and passed a car that was covered with bumper stickers that I found quite offensive and a little bit ignorant. And I felt my chest heat up, I gripped the steering wheel really tight, and for some reason I stayed really close to the car, and I even had to slow down to do this. I have no idea what I was planning on doing, but eventually I realized what I was feeling. I breathed into my chest, I loosened my grip on the wheel, and I got back to my regular speed and I just left the guy behind me. But why did I feel threatened? Why did I feel the need to do something? Why did I allow myself, my emotions, to be hijacked by someone who doesn't know me or care one bit about what I think? In the mindfulness world, we'd say I failed to practice non-attachment. Rather than name what I saw in the back of the man's car and just carry on with my day, I attached negative emotion to it and let myself grow tense and angry and frustrated. It was a very mindless response. Because non-attachment is one of the foundational practices of mindfulness. It's the ability to experience reality just as it is without becoming emotionally hijacked. And that doesn't mean we don't care. It certainly doesn't mean we don't act. But we acknowledge the present reality as it is without letting it completely topple us. Now, physically speaking, non-attachment is about keeping our prefrontal cortex in control instead of the amygdala. The amygdala and the limbic system are where our emotional responses occur in the brain. The amygdala is also known as the fight, flight, or freeze center. So when your brain senses a threat, it gives the amygdala total control over your mind and your body. But notice what happens when you think about a politician or political figure that you just absolutely despise. Notice what happens in your body. Like I said, I feel it in my chest as my heart accelerates. Maybe you get tense, your pores might open up, your jaw might clench, you might start just throwing things around the room because your brain has sensed a threat, and so your amygdala is signaling to your body that it is time to fight. It's an automatic response because your brain is all about working smarter rather than harder. So it's not just going to make a new judgment about a person every single time it sees them. It builds up these connections over time to remind itself how to respond to certain people and in certain situations. So after a few weeks of nothing but bad feelings towards someone, your brain locks that emotion in and it automatically triggers the amygdala when you see or hear them. But the prefrontal cortex, where logic and reasoning and empathy live, it cannot operate while your amygdala is active. Only one part of the brain can have control at any given time. So when you hear that politician or see a post from a friend who supports them, your brain instantly goes into fight mode without evaluating or analyzing anything that's being said. So imagine what it means on a national scale when 300 million people are ready to fight the moment they see someone with whom they disagree. And that's why non-attachment is so important. If we're ever going to work through political discourse peacefully and productively, we have to intentionally train our brains to take in the present reality, including the side of people with whom we disagree, and political ideologies with which we disagree, and family members and friends with whom we disagree, without allowing ourselves to be emotionally hijacked. Because your prefrontal cortex is capable of overriding the amygdala if your brain is accustomed to activating it. And a consistent meditation practice strengthens the prefrontal region. It builds up lots of connections to it so that our sensory input is more likely to land there instead of in the amygdala. And non-attachment occurs when the prefrontal cortex is in charge. So there are certainly things worth getting angry over, but not everything. So I invite you to mindfully practice non-attachment. Name what's happening in the realm of politics without allowing yourself to be emotionally hijacked. And with a clear mind and a strong spine, let's all work together toward a more compassionate world.